I am sure sports. You know me there. I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you a go love over here so. Subscribe to this. Repost and share.
TricNic Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. TricNic Jerk Barbecue Sauce. Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. TricNic Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
Ey, una larga. Se va a hacer aquí este lado.
Yeah, man. So they're playing against a team that is a couple of years older than them. You know, they're playing against 19 and 20 years old. And I want to just look at how they are possessing the ball, knocking it around. Very difficult to do the commentary because I'm having some issues here. Still not fully out yet of the woods in terms of this flu, but this is a very good under 17 team. Very good. You can again, you can tell by the ball possession and just look at how they're moving the ball. I'm hoping to get one of the coaches to probably come on and give us a couple of thoughts about the game. Yesterday could have sent them to the U20s. Yeah, man. I mean, look at the press. Look at how. So they have two games. I'm going to show a next one probably tomorrow. As well. And people, if you're watching, as usual, no pressure. Yeah, no pressure. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Yeah, big up all the persons in the comment section. You know, if you're not hearing me a whole lot, it's because I still, like I said, under the weather. But um, yeah, good game. This is the Jamaica U17 team, as you can see. All right, give you some of the players that are out there playing.
Hey, larga. Larga, Dari.
So the U17 playing against a university players older than them, doing well so far. Let's see. Calling for Kerry James. Where is Kerry? So let me give you the squad that they have played 2 games. I think they have a next game today as well. 2 goalkeepers are Justin Murray and Janai Stedman. Defenders are Jaquan Brown, Nicholas Fletcher, Damarley Williams, Zinedine McLean, Jabbar Johnson, Kai Anthony McLean, Kieran Smith, Alexander White, Marcus Neal, a new player, came in from Canada in the squad, Owen Jump, Nyron Allen, Javon Anglin, Justin Hales, Jude Royce, Aiden McFarlane, Tyler Clark, Kadriano Marsh, he was not in the New York tour, Giovanni Taylor, son of Fabian Taylor, Orel Miller, Raekwon Campbell Dennis, Jamari Nolan, Seymour Garfield Reed. We have an injury there. Yeah, man, where the clip boss at, man? If you are watching the game right now, what you want to do is to put it on full screen on your side, and you'll get to see, you'll get to see it in a real way. Just put it on full screen. They have gone on a water break. All right. We're going to see if we can get the big commentator All right, so they're on a water break, people. We're going to try and get the big commentator. Right. So you see, money is here. Right, so have no fear. We're going to try and see if we can get the big commentator. Let's see if we can do this. Mr. Kerry James to do some commentary. Yeah, on the game to help you all. Yeah. This they're actually at the IMG facility, Yeah, man. Uh, I'm telling you. I tell people like it's one of the biggest problems in Jamaica. One of the biggest problems in Jamaica. We have a big game in Jamaica tomorrow. Yeah, Melshire Walker fighting it. Yeah, man. When was it? Last week when it was my birthday, and I've been sick since that time. Yeah, man. Rough journey. This is the best of me right now. This is the best of me. So the teams are on a water break. Jamaica leading this one by a goal to nil. Yeah. Lime and honey. All right. One thing with the people, is that when you're sick, every Jamaican is a doctor. Yeah, big game tomorrow. Cavaliers versus Mount Pleasant. CONCACAF Club Championship. Jamaica also plays Trinidad and Tobago. 5:30 Jamaican time in U14 action. Top of the table clash. So we'll be having. But if you put this on full screen, you will be able to see the quality of the Jamaican play. Look at pitches, people. Huh? Oh my lord. You're right, Jason. And all of them are quality. 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 Quality surfaces. Quality surfaces. No, you know that I'm not a party person. You know what we do? More than play some Ludo, some one dice. Some look at one dice Ludo, them look at thing. No man, we not really them seen the and our scene. Over rivers. Yo, I haven't seen Brain Drain in a while. How Brain Drain doing? Next time anyhow you see Brain Drain, hail him for me. Fresh God, big up yourself. Just look at how the team presses. All right, Kerry will be joining in a minute or two, and he'll be able to give us some breakdown and commentary. Just look at the pressing of the team. Very good pressing. See? See, they win it in the middle of the park. Look at that. Look at the passes. There you go. Back to the goalkeeper. Some very good centre backs in this team. I'm so anticipating what this team will do. No, this is not they have a couple of players. I hear that there's a next player, like there's a player in Spain that plays for I think Valencia or one of those academies he's in, who he wants to join the team as well. I haven't seen Kai Miles from a Campion player. He's not there either. So there are a few players that they are short of. So this is not the complete squad. Yeah, Jojo is not there. There you go. And again, they're playing up, meaning they're playing above their age group. In fact, the second game they even played an older team. They look very organized defensively as well. It's good that they have used up the summer period when the kids are out on holidays to get in some very, very good practice. Yeah. Team is coached by Freddie Butler, Carlton Butler Simmons, and Vassar Reynolds is also part of the coaching staff. I think Everdeen Scarlett is the goalkeeper coach. Looks like goal number 2. Did you see it? Did you see the goal, people? You don't miss the goal, not true. You don't miss the goal, not true. You don't see the build up there. You don't miss the goal, not true. You don't miss the goal. How many persons? That's 4 now. How many persons saw the goal? Hold on. Maybe I should play it. Play it back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Because I don't want to miss the goal here. Man. Gone back too far, but watch where I go. The build-up play, the man. From the keeper. 3 passes. 4. Watch this. Bam. 5. Bam. Goal. Yo. Yo, the man, them man. Yo. Yo. From the goalkeeper. They build up that play all the way from the goalkeeper right into the back of the net. All along the left. Very good goal. I'm telling you, very good goal. Very, very good goal. Big up from my friend. Well, Jamaica leading by 4 goals to 0. Getting close to the end of the first half. I think at the end of this half, they changed the entire team. So you may see a drop in the quality of the play. Because they put on a completely different team in the second half. That's the Jamaican team. You can see again they're very confident on the ball, and maybe the surface is helping with this. This could be a goal again. No. What a save! What a shot! What a save! Corner kick. Make sure you're watching this on full screen. You know, watching it on full screen. You're missing the action. And on the stroke of half time, we have the commentator. Kerry, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
My lord, I'm struggling here, man. But I've been waiting on you all day, man, to come and tell us a little bit about the starting 11 and the goal scorers and things.
Yeah, man, I didn't realize you were on. I was actually at the Gatorade Sports Science Institute with one of the players trying to get him on the exercise bike. So just got back.
Okay. Yeah. Because Freddie said he wanted to get it on at 11.
Mm-hmm.
I think because you guys have a game today or tomorrow.
We have a game today at 4. So we're going to have a meeting at 2:30. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to show the first game. So I'm showing the first game. So yeah. But we already scored the 4 goals. I think this game was 4-1.
Yeah. Ended 4-1, yeah.
Ended
no
4-1.
goals in the second half.
The team was changed at halftime completely.
Yeah, in both games. Mm-hmm.
All right. Who are some of the score? I mean, I think I don't know if everyone saw all the goals because I don't have the actual clips, but I don't know who came on at what time because some of the goals were scored very early in the game.
Yeah. So this is the first game. The goal scorers were Seymour Garfield Reed. He scored 2 of the goals. Raekwon Campbell Dennis scored 1 of the goals, and then the penalty was scored by Kadriana Marsh.
Okay. That's halftime now. All right, so that's halftime, people. I'm going to let Kira. So tell us the goal score. Oh no, let me just do this. Yeah. So it's halftime. So Kira, just so just tell us the goal scorers and like where they're from, what school, because a lot of times when we see the list, we don't see where they are attached. So
Right.
people sometimes don't know like the starting 11 for this team for the first game. Do you know the starting 11? And
Yes, it was the same starting 11 actually for both games. So the goalkeeper is Justin Murray. So people will know him from Glenmuir High School. The left back is Kieran Smith. So he plays at Cedar Stars Academy in the New York, New Jersey area. The left center back was Jabbar Johnson, who actually was also playing for the same team as Kieran, Cedar Stars, but he just actually signed for New York City FC. So he's going to be playing for New York City FC in this upcoming season. As a matter of fact, tomorrow he's leaving here to join up with New York City FC on their tour to Nashville. So Jabbar was playing left center back. The right center back, I think everybody should know, it's Kai McLean. He was in the last U15. And that was the player that was representing Inter Miami at the MLS Next All-Star game. So he was playing right center back. Right back was Alexander White. So he plays in Canada. I think the team he plays for is called Sigma FC. So he's one of the two Canadian players in the starting lineup. And then as the holding midfielder is Owen Jump. He also played the last U15. He plays at Mount Pleasant. Raekwon Campbell Dennis, we were playing a 4-3-3. So Jump was holding. And then the two players in front were Giovanni Taylor. They're from Jamaica College. And Raekwon Campbell Dennis, the second player from Canada. So Raekwon is from Canada, but he plays overseas in Spain. I think the name of the club is Club Internacional de Barcelona, because the club is based in Barcelona. So that was the goalkeeper, defenders, and the midfield. On the left of the attack, so in the 4-3-3, was Cadriano Marsh, another player from the last U15. And on the right was the player they call Rashford, Javon Anglin. I think he's from Malden, is that right? Malden
yes.
High School. And then the forward that scored two of the goals were Seymour Garfield Reed. So he was a player that was playing for Cedar Stars Academy. And just like Jabbar, he has also just signed for New York City FC. Wow. So Jabbar and Seymour will be leaving here early Tuesday morning, tomorrow morning, flying out of Tampa to go to Nashville to meet up with their MLS club team. So that was the starting lineup.
It's amazing because based on what you have just said, it sounds like only four of the players who actually started playing Jamaica.
In that particular game, it was I think four local players,
like Taylor,
Justin Murray,
Rashford,
and Jump
Murray
as well,
and
Jump,
yeah. Wow, yeah. So I mean, do we watch the second half, or you want us to do the first half of the?
I would probably go to the first half of the second game.
Okay, all right.
Because I feel that was I think it was more of a test for us because both teams are sort of adult teams. The first game was against a university team, Millennia Atlantic University. And then the second game was actually against an adult amateur team from Port St. Lucie, Mako Soccer Club. So they play in what's called here the USSL, which is the adult league. So I thought that was a really good game for us to kind of, deal with the physicality of much bigger, stronger players. And not only were they bigger and stronger, but also, good on the ball. I think once we start watching, we'll probably even recognize a player or two that plays for them from the Jamaican context.
Yeah. All right. So this is it. So you can, you want to give them like starting 11 and all of that?
Yeah. Same starting 11. Same starting 11. So Griffin Murray in goal, Kai and Jabbar at the center backs. Left back is Kieran, right back is Alexander. Owen Jump is holding, Giovanni Taylor and Raekwon Campbell Dennis are in front of him. On the left, Cadriano Marsh. On the right, Javon Anglin. And then the center forward is Seymour Garfield Reed.
All right. So we're going to start the game, and I don't know, maybe Kerry can give you some commentary on it. You may be able to identify what's happening.
Yep.
So this is the second game, the U17 versus the team from Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, so you see the player on the screen that's closest to us from the other team, number 10. That's Don J. Smith. So people remember Don J. Smith from Stets, first of all, and then Jamaica under 20 as well. So, a good player that we know. So here's, Jamaica on the attack on the left-hand side. So obviously the game plan going into the game, similar to the one before, in that we wanted to see if we can get on the front foot, press them a little bit, and see if we can win some possession of the ball higher up the pitch. So that was sort of the plan going in. So it's Mako building out the back. You can see the Jamaican players, trying to press them even, when they have the ball among the back four. So trying to be very aggressive without the football. What we also saw in the first game from, I think it's this game that you just watched, the first half, Kadriano Marsh looked a real threat every time he picked up the ball. So one good attacking outlet there on the left-hand side of Jamaica attack. The player that kicks the corners is Raekwon Campbell-Dennis, player that plays in Spain. It's headed away by the Mako team. So again, Mako plays in the USSL. So for those familiar with South Florida, there are a couple different leagues. You have the NSL, which split into two and became the USSL. And it's similar to a league that a lot of people also know, which is the UPSL. So all of them are sort of, I guess they term themselves semi-pro leagues. What I'd also say about the preparation for these games, we came here on Friday. Players from Jamaica flew in. The players from all over also flew in. And so we got here Friday night, trained, had a game Saturday, which we trained in the morning Saturday. And this game yesterday in the evening, we also trained in the morning. So a lot of load on the players, which is why we wanted to play different teams each half. Another corner, that one failing to beat the first defender there. This is the Mako team trying to get on the ball, but Jamaica, you'll notice in the game, kind of dominated possession. So trying to mix it up, trying to find when they can keep possession and be patient, and when they can, use the speed, particularly on the flanks. I think you saw that in the first game, and you probably see a lot of it in this game as well. So attempted cross cut out by the defender. I was impressed with that defender. He's Jamaican, by the way. I think he's number 6 that just cleared the ball. Found out after the game that he was Jamaican. I think they had 4 Jamaican players on their team. Coach was Jamaican as well. So, in Florida, you have a lot of Jamaicans. Not so much up north in Port St. Lucie as it is in South Florida, but there's a lot of them. An attempted shot just wide there. And so you see the starting position, the Jamaican players trying to prevent Port St. Lucie from playing out the back and then pressuring high. See, Jamaica wins it back already. I think that was a feature of the game. Port St. Lucie trying to play out, Jamaica trying to be aggressive without the ball and try to limit the space and their ability to play out the back. I think it worked. We'll see as the game goes along, if you think the same. So these games were, the second game was 40-minute halves. The first game was 45. So again, just trying to manage the load of the players because obviously trying to get as much out of the camp as possible. So, not preparing for a game the way you would normally do in terms of rest and being able to be at full strength for the games themselves. We had to make sure that we got, everything out of every day, while obviously managing the load of the players to make sure that they could manage it. But I think the fact that we had each team play a half, I think that kind of helped. So similar to the first game. So between the 2 days, most of the players got like 90 minutes over the two games, which I thought was fine. Pretty hot in Bradenton as well. So you have to also take that into consideration with hydration and getting the players recovered and back ready to play again. This is the Jamaica team trying to attack on the right-hand side. Shut down by Kieran Smith. Jamaica trying to build out the back, go long instead. So playing back to goalkeeper Justin Murray from Glenmuir. Trying to find Marsh. Let's jump with the switch. Not quite enough on it to get it to angling. But as you can see, once the players from Port St. Lucie pick up the ball, Jamaica's trying to close that space. Don J. Smith. Trying to get the 1-2 into the space. But that's well marshaled by the right back, Alexander White. And Smith eventually has to foul him. So Jamaica get a free kick deep in their half. Play through Murray. That's McLean. So that one goes along trying to find the forward, Seymour Reed. Again, the center backs for Jamaica will have it, and Jamaica is pressing. Successful in playing out so far, but Jamaica is still pressing.
And one of the things I've been saying, Kerry, is that this is not like, it may be close to a final squad, but it is not the final squad because there could be, additions as, if player comes in a certain position that way next year. I know you're not the coach, but you just suspect with the thing starting all the way next year, you may have one and two, probably even higher quality talent popping up between now and then that could possibly squeeze their way into this team.
Yeah, and what I would say is I would kind of echo what the coaches have said, even to the players themselves, in that, we're a little way away from the tournament, which is not to say that everything is just up in the air in terms of a squad. So I think it's closer to having a core of a squad. Selecting the final 22 or whatever CONCACAF will allow is going to be tricky, because in this camp, for example, we have 24 players. In the New York camp, we had 26. And, obviously that doesn't include every single player in the core that's under consideration. So there are a couple players here that were not in New York. And I'm sure the next time that they have a camp, it's going to be the same. So I don't think it's going to be necessarily wholesale changes, but I think you're sort of seeing like the core of a squad kind of taking shape. You're kind of seeing who could be maybe possibly the two left backs or the two right backs, but again, it's not finalized. So I think the players have to also realize that, because they have to be on their toes, because there's no spot there with somebody's name written on it. They're going to have to play for their spot every time they come out to one of these camps. So it's going to be competitive, and obviously there is a possibility that there's a player that we haven't seen yet that may be better. So that you have to take into consideration as well. So yeah, it's gonna be competitive, I think.
Yeah, and with it being so far away as well, you could have somebody probably picking up a knock here and there that
Yeah,
puts them out, struggle to regain fitness and all of that. So, yeah, it's always, even for those who are on the outside, that they keep themselves sharp as well.
yeah,
Because,
always.
yes.
Yeah, and we do have a player or two that's probably in that situation right now with injuries. We have players that are probably in consideration for the start for the core of the team, the 22, that may be injured right now. So again, we have 24 players in camp, 2 or 3 that are injured, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 that could easily have been here, as opposed to some others. So again, it's just the coach's decision on the day, on each camp as to what he wants for that camp, which won't necessarily be exactly all the same players in every camp. So you're always looking to see, okay, if these 2 players are close, then let's see what one has to offer in these difficult circumstances where you travel and recover and play and recover and play. Because a lot of the times the CONCACAF tournaments have these very tight schedules. So that's really
Yeah.
important.
Always saying that number 10 guard, Dan J. Simmons, that used to go to States, saying that he
Yeah.
could have been playing. I mean, I could see him playing in the Premier League in Jamaica. I think the centre back that plays for Maka as well is a player that has Jamaican. I think they call him Blacks. I think he
Yeah.
has Jamaican.
He
I
does.
think, yeah, background. I think when Coach Emir Halgrimson went up there, he saw him and wanted him to be a part of some under 23.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they call him Blacks. He plays centre back.
Yeah,
Maybe
man, I was
captain
impressed
and
with him. The captain, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think he also gave a good challenge, I think, just generally this team, because it's an adult team. So I think they gave a good challenge to our boys in terms of the physicality of play. And yeah, so he gave a good, I think, contest for our center forwards, especially to learn how to play with a player of that quality, speed, recovery speed, physicality. So yeah, I thought that was a really good exercise, matching up against him. Trying to find Anglin on the right hand side there. Pass cut out though. And you can see the pattern of the game with Jamaica are really aggressive in pressing the ball here.
Yes.
In both games. And that's been an emphasis of the coaching staff, to try to start developing our own pattern and style of playing. Obviously, it's going to change in some situations, game to game, little details depending on who you're playing. Obviously, these 2 teams we didn't do any kind of really game planning for as we were doing a tournament. We were more focused on getting our style of play down and getting more consistency in the things that we do, making fewer mistakes, technical mistakes. So it'll be interesting when we get closer to the tournament, when we actually start doing more of the tactical game planning for teams and making small adjustments to the way we play to make sure that we match up well.
Yeah. One of the things as well is that with all the under 17 now, it's a yearly tournament. So I think that makes a huge difference. Oh, yeah. Good turn.
That is a good turn. Trying to play in the player again on the right hand side, but doesn't quite get the combination right. I think what you see with Seymour Reed, who's playing as the striker, he came into the team for the first time for the games in New York. So the second game in New York was the first he started, and he scored the only goal. Yesterday he scored again, and in this game he scored 2 goals. So he's pretty much had 4 goals in 3 starts. Really good start for him. Looks very impressive. And we were happy to get the news that I was speaking to the New York City FC Academy director about Jabbar and trying to organize his schedule to make sure he could get to Nashville at an appropriate time. And that's when we found out that Seymour is also signed up for New York City FC for this coming season. Nice. So wish him the best. Wish him the best with that.
Yeah. And I'm saying that I think the difference, like I was saying, I think on my program last week, is that though these guys are not living in Jamaica, a lot of them, I was saying even Kadriana Marsh, these guys are normally in Jamaica. So though it's diaspora, it's not like, the English diaspora that seems like distance away.
Yeah.
These guys they know the Jamaican culture very, very well.
Yeah, I would echo that. And you see it around when the players are in camp. First of all, Seymour, I believe, grew up in Jamaica up until a certain point. Because when I met him for the first time, I was wondering how this man talk Pato like
exactly
Jamaica or Jamaica. And yes, he was in Jamaica for quite a while. So he's already steeped in the culture. And even the ones that don't, probably never lived in Jamaica full time, Kadriano, Kai, their parents are not only Jamaican, but very, very Jamaican. So the culture, that they're brought up with is the same culture that a lot of us that were born in Jamaica were brought up with. And you see there on the team, like the team that there's no, I know, as a society, maybe we have some local versus quote unquote foreign discussions, but you don't get that impression in the camp at all.
Team, yeah.
They're all the same. They're all equal, and they get along very well. So there's the long ball that they're trying to find, long pass to the wings. That can be a dangerous feature. We saw a lot in the first game. A lot of speed on the wings with Kadriana Marsh and Javon Anglin.
Yeah. The commentator is Kerry, Mr. E.
The fake up, you can say fake commentator. Because I'm commentating based on memory of the game, because I'm looking at the screen and it's so small that I can barely make out the players. But yeah, it's still okay.
What you should have. What you need to do is to, if you had a next gadget, you could watch it on it and do full screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man.
So
next time I'll bring my.
So I can see everything.
Next time I'll bring my laptop. But yeah, I can make it out well enough.
Yeah. Or if you have a tablet, or you're one of those persons who have two phones.
No, man, not the two phones, but I do have a laptop. So next time the laptop will be the workaround.
Good turn by Reed.
Yeah. He's really good with his back towards the goal, if you notice, in the game in New York. That's how he scored the goal, picking it up and turning the player. So, interesting player.
The ball into the box. Yeah.
Trying to make a cross to try to find either Reed or Kadriana Marsh coming in off the far side there. I think this game was a really good exercise for the boys because of the physicality of this team. I think it's a stronger team than we played the first game. That's a foul as well. That was just outside the box.
Kerry, I don't know if you can understand this. Kerry, who us he a coach? I'm not sure.
Who is he? A coach? I think that's what it was meant. Is he a coach?
Is Kerry a coach?
That's like a highly philosophical blogger. Question.
He's a fake coach. He's a fake manager. He's a fake
media member. Don't forget media member.
Yes. We're gonna stop calling him Kerry and call him Fakey.
Fakey, yeah. A little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. Yeah, that's what you need to know. Yeah. So I think if I can see correct, is this J.R. Taylor or is this Raekwon? Tried a shot, but that's straight to the goalie.
Yeah. 28th minute of the game.
So you see Mako, constantly trying to play out, Jamaica constantly trying to press. So far, it's been mostly the Jamaica winning the ball back after, 3 or 4 passes. But Mako, still maintaining, trying to play out as opposed to go long. So we'll see what effect that has as the game goes on. So again, Jamaica actually wins the ball back by that high press in Mako's half. And now they can play through jump. You can see that jump is the kind of the fulcrum of the midfield there, playing deeper than J.R. Taylor and Raekwon Campbell-Dennis. So it looks like 4-4-3-3, sort of classic 4-3-3. Depends on the opponent, because I know in the game first game in New York. Let's see if this player can turn. In the first game in New York, Gio Taylor dropped a little bit deeper to play alongside jump, get a little bit more control of the midfield.
Okay.
But this seems to be the preferred pattern of the coach so far. As you know, these things can change as time goes along and as you have different players. But so far, yeah, it looks like setting up in 4-3-3. And that's the goal. So it was jump to Raekwon Campbell-Dennis to Seymour Reed, who turned and placed it in the far corner.
Let's look at it again. Look at the
Yeah.
build-up.
Oh, you have replay. This is high tech.
Just look at the build-up play, people.
Yeah. So the pass went initially to Seymour Reed, and it was
That's
cleared up by the
8
defense.
passes right here.
This is
9
the long
passes.
pass that to Seymour Reed, pushed in the back by the defender, but not enough contact, says the ref.
All right.
So Jamaica wins it back,
Win it back now.
and here they start to play. As Coach Butler's always
3
saying, can we play?
passes. 4.
And this is jump on the ball now.
5.
This is Raekwon Campbell-Dennis.
6.
Nice little pass into Seymour Reed, and he
Look at
finds the
that.
far corner. On the turn.
Brilliant goal.
beautiful goal.
Brilliant play.
So Jamaica finally breaking down the resistance of the Jamaica team. I think Jamaica has, been well on top in the half.
Like I think I need to let me just show them the goal. I don't think let me just no, like seriously. Just look at the build-up play. Let's bring it back right here. Right here. Let's bring it back a little bit. Yeah, right here. So let's look at the goal again. Very good build-up play.
Yeah, so this was the initial build-up. Jamaica keeping possession, making them have to work to move side to side to defend them. There is the ball into Seymour Reed, pushing the back by the Jamaican defender we were talking about. Ref says not enough contact for it to be a foul. So Jamaica wins it back, possession again, playing it from side to side. This is the right back Pipes, playing into jump from Mount Pleasant. Raekwon Campbell-Dennis gets it, and he's able to connect with Seymour Garfield Reed, turns, pivots.
Brilliant, exquisite.
And so these games are 40-minute halves. So I think that goal was scored like right on the 20th minute. So they're going to take a water break because of the heat in Bradenton.
And I don't know, are you able to speak on what is some of the other things the guys doing here in terms of I know you guys do some fundraising stuff as well. Or that's for Omar McFarlane?
Mostly for Omar, but I know it's not a secret that we're raising funds because I think everybody has to push to try to get this team properly prepared. And the preparation costs money. So I'm sure when Omar is on, he'll tell you how much just one of these camps cost, especially the overseas ones. We were in New York maybe less than 2 weeks ago, and now we're in Bradenton for 5 days. So it costs a lot. So, the people that like to see this approach where we try to prepare the team earlier, we try to get the players together periodically, even during times where we're playing, because the Costa Cup of Manning Cup is coming up, the MLS next season is coming up, but we can't afford just to sit back and wait and think the preparation is going to take care of itself. We have to keep on doing camps, and those camps are expensive. So I think you have the information for this Zell.
I'll invite Omar on sometime later this week.
Man. And Omar was also here with the president as well, and they did a fundraiser. Yeah, they did a fundraiser on Friday while we were here coming to Bradenton. They did a fundraiser in Pembroke Pines in South Florida, Trying to
Awesome.
also get people aware of what the situation is, and how best everyone can help us to finance the program so that we can keep on doing camps like this.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, let's see. All right. DW, I understand what you're saying that the team is not putting pressure on the ball and we need to bear that. I understand you, but they are playing against older players. These are 16-year-olds playing against players who are 19 and 20 and 21, 22, 23, even a 24-year-old, or a couple 24-year-olds. So they are playing against men. So I don't know. While I understand what you're saying, we must also put into context that they're also playing against an older age group, right, Kerry?
Yeah, because our players, remember the U17 tournament is not until next year. So most of the players that we have that are on the field now are 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds. We even have, you'll see in the second half, a 14-year-old, Nolan from Mount Pleasant. So yeah, when you play against older players, the physicality is going to be an issue. So this is, shot there by, trying to get a shot off by Rashford, just went wide. But yeah, the physicality of bigger, bigger, stronger opponents is always going to be a, difficult thing to manage. So yeah, you have to always take the opponents into consideration. But I think the games are probably less about the opponents and more about Jamaica developing a style of play that they want to play once the tournament starts. So I think what happens a lot of the times with our youth teams is that we are not super prepared. So we go into the tournament and we have to be fixing all of these issues and trying to develop a pattern of how we're going to play, during the game. So we start the first game, we get some things wrong, and then we fix it for the second game. The U20, not this last time, but the time before. Let me just see if so the referee allows us to play on here. I think Grasher needs to make an earlier decision there, and so he loses out to the defender. So usually what happens, even not this past U20, but the one before that, the one that was actually at this facility in Bradenton, when Jerome Waite took over the team at the last minute, and we tied with Mexico. That team with Tyreek McGee and Javian Brown, etc. I went to the first game of that tournament, and it was 0-0 up until maybe 94 minutes against Grenada, I think. And we scored a very late goal. So that was like our, the poorest performance of the whole tournament. And as the tournament went on, we started playing better and better, because we learned from one game to the next. So what we're trying to do with these preparation games is to see if we can work out all of those kinks as we go along in preparation, so that when we get into the tournament, tournaments are different, so you're still going to have to adjust. But at least we'd have learned from game to game what we're good at, what we can change, how we can adjust our approach based on the players that we have. And then obviously once you got further down the road and start looking at the opponents, also considering the opponent's strengths and weaknesses and tailoring our game to how the opponents play as well. So I wouldn't be too super focused on the opponents, but I understand though that it's a game of football, so there's two teams on the field. So what one team does affects what the other team does in terms of approach.
All right. Yep, that is it.
And I think what you'll also see is, even beyond the games, is the training sessions themselves. I think have been really useful to get all the players together. Different environment, they travel, they have to recover, and then you have a training session in the morning. You recover. We do ice, ice bath set up right. As we finish, we get them to lunch, get them some time to mentally and physically recover and recuperate. And then we're back into, planning for a game in the evening. So today we actually gave them a bit of a morning off because, as I said, the load has been high. We trained Friday, we trained again Saturday and played a game. We trained again Sunday and played a game. So we decided to give the players the morning off. So just ice, which is where I was actually just coming from before I jumped on. Ice session for everyone. They got to sleep in a little bit later than they normally would. And then we're going to have another game this evening.
Okay, I think there's a substitution being made. I think it's Rashford.
I don't think he actually came off though. I think he
Okay.
has to come off the field because he was being treated.
Okay.
So I think he came off on the near side. The referee told him to go on the other side, and then after a couple of seconds, the referee
Yeah,
there he
right.
is
He came back
waving
on.
him
Yeah.
back on. Yeah. So again, you don't see that much in terms of the Jamaica team attacking because I think Jamaica has done a good job of first of all possessing the ball and mixing it up between possessing and then playing those diagonals. And then when Mako wins the ball back, you can see the pressure that their players are under, like almost right away. And it's a bad foul. You may get a yellow card for that. But you can see how aggressive the Jamaican players are without the ball. So obviously you want to do it
Friendly
without
game, not so
fouling.
friendly at all.
Not so friendly, but that's fine because that's a good sign. I think one of the things the coaches are really stressing on is being aggressive and not aggressive in a way that we're trying to hurt anyone. But when I say aggressive without the ball, that means that we're not giving the team time to settle on the ball. So that's an easy catch for they call him Cross. It's Justin Murray. So Jamaica trying to build out again. I think the team from Port St. Lucie is actually in preseason, so they're also not in the greatest condition. And I think you saw that effect more in the second half when Jamaica changed their whole team and probably dominated the game more in the second half than the first, which you'll see. I think one of the other things that we want to consider also is the whole squad. So I know people are so eager to hear the score of the game. So we won both games, but I don't think it's super important that we did win. I think it's what we're learning about each individual player and the combinations of players together. So I think the fact that we were able to give everybody a chance to play, everybody that's we had one player that has a bit of an injury, but every other one of the 23, because we had 24 originally, all of them played in both games. Most of them played at least a half. So I think that gives a good indication of, because, the reality is this is not a tournament. Everybody is actually fighting for a place in the team. So those little individual, I wouldn't call them battles because it's not really a battle. It's more like a competition between players is important because the reality is there's 24 players here now. These are not necessarily 24 players who are taken to the tournament. A lot of them will be, but that's going to depend on their performance as we go from camp to camp.
Yeah, and the thing is like, and that's what I always tell people because even the under 14 tournament,
Mm-hmm.
the rules are very good because all the players in the under 14 tournament must play at least 70 minutes
Right.
because
Development.
it's a development tournament. And so,
Yeah.
whenever I talk about even this whole thing about quota, I always tell people you don't need to bring players in if they want to come fine, but at that level you don't need it because it's really a developmental tournament. And if you have
Mm-hmm.
kids in the States, you can just let them group come together and play just like they do in the Caribbean because it's a CFU developmental tournament where you can make 9 substitutions.
Right.
It's 70 minutes for the game, 35 minutes a half. So you don't want to bring kids who are in um, high quality environments to necessarily come and play in a tournament. You want probably your domestic kids to have that experience of traveling and playing there
Yeah.
because it's development. And so I like the fact that here, one of the things that is being done is that all the players are getting valuable minutes.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. So I think what we have to do at the younger age groups, the U14, U15, is still work to identify overseas-based players. So whether they play in the tournament, because there's no World Cup at the end of the tournament as a prize.
Yeah.
So whether they play or not, I don't think is super significant. I think what is important is that we identify them early. We've been having camps for 2008 and 2009, which is the age group you see on the field now. But we've also had camps for 2010 and 2011s to make sure that we're identifying, okay, just like how we have players from Inter Miami and New York City FC, do we have players that are younger than that are also playing at that level? So that we can identify them early, start getting them information to get their passports early, so that when we're in the competitions that actually have a World Cup at the end, like U17, U20, then we know the players, we've identified them, we've had discussion with their parents, etc. So yeah, it has to be an approach where by the time you get to U17, you have a good idea of who the players are, not only the players overseas, but we're obviously very familiar with the players in Jamaica. We have a scouting network now that hopefully is going to work well to identify the better players in Jamaica, and then we can obviously mix them as we go along. It's a free kick for Jamaica here. If I can see correctly, is that Giovanni Taylor over the ball. A bit too central for a little chip pass. He's probably going to kick it, which he does.
DW, I really want to talk about the under 14. Very good job. Yeah. Love what there are some very good players I see there. And here's a good thing. Like I said, these tournaments are good because I can tell you this. There are at least 14 players in Jamaica that I thought were good enough to be on this team. And they're not there, which does well. And the team is doing well. They're passing the ball around. Scoring is easy for them. They're defending well. And you have to give credit where credit is due. The team is doing well. You have to give the coach credit as well. All right.
I agree.
I think, like I said, Peart at this level is very good just because of his demeanor. I think the older the team gets, it's a little bit difficult for him because he's one of those he's a teacher more so. And you need that at the younger age group. More at the older age group, you kind of lead. You need leadership and management. At the younger age group, you need a teacher, a person who's going to teach you the principles, the fundamentals, and the stuff in the game. As kids get into 18 and 17, they know how to pass, they know how to control. So what they need now is somebody who's going to manage their talent and provide leadership and create a consistent structure. So I think at this age group, he would do very well. I've always been a proponent of what Arsene Wenger says. Put your best coaches at the lowest level.
Right. Yeah, I think you have to. I definitely agree that he, deserves a lot of credit. So I haven't gotten a chance to see the two games because I know there was a link. So hopefully I can get a chance to see it. But they do, the U14s are doing well. The U15s under Andrew last year did quite well. The best we've done pretty much ever in terms of that U15 team. And a lot of those U15 players are the same players that we have now. So clearly we did some good work in identifying the better talented players. And I think the under 14, what is it called? Talent development that FIFA gave us funding for.
Yes.
It's helping as well because a lot of these kids that U14 level are kind of in and out of camp all the time, like really consistently now. So I think that's going to bode well for like the base, the foundation for the next, the next U17s that are going to come up in future years. So I think that's really good.
Yeah, so they're trying the ball over the top to Cadriano Marsh.
Yeah.
On a very consistent basis. A couple of times he has been offside.
Yeah, and I think it's why I think these games are so good is that, you're seeing different opponents. In the first game, I thought the opponent, even though it was a university team, they weren't as strong, I don't think, as this team that we're playing in the second game. So, those switches to Cadriano, I think he was like toying with the wing back a lot of the first half of that game because it's a little bit of a mismatch for him, I thought. In this game, I think, this team has a lot more speed, has, a few Jamaican players in it too that have pace. So it's not going to be as easy to outpace the wing back. So now you have to adjust where it may have been easier for you in the first game. It's more difficult for you in the second game. I know, for example, Kieran, who is the left back, was telling me that he's never played against a player that was as fast as the right midfielder for the team from Mako. So it was a good experience for him. I think he pretty much only got behind him one time and he kind of misjudged the ball. held his own, so I think all of those experiences are good for the players to see different type of players, to see adult players, to see physical big players, to see quick players, so that when a tournament comes around and they see these players from other countries that have all of these different ways of playing, that
Yes.
they have a little bit of experience with pretty much everything. So I think that was kind of good in terms of the choices of opponents. So yeah, I think that'll bode well as we go along and kind of keep on developing the team.
You guys have played around 8 games already?
Yeah, we played 2 against Trinidad. I know we played the 2 in New York. We played the 2 here, and I know in Jamaica we also played 2 games the last camp. One
I
was
think they
against.
played against the under 20 team.
Oh yes, so that's another one. Yeah, the under 20 team. I forgot about that one. So the under 20 team
Yeah.
we played against Arnett Gardens Premier League
Right.
team, and then we played another game against, I don't know what that league is called, Major League or Super League, or that's the game that we
Really
won
far.
6-0. Duhaney Park, yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, so quite a few games, and I think every game is helping us, because you can see a whole bunch of different types of opponents, right? Most of them, but pretty much all of them, except for the U17s, older than us, including the games in New York. Not a lot older. We had some of the players in New York that were maybe a year or 2, or sometimes 3 years older. And then most of the other teams we've been playing are adult teams, except for those 2 friendly internationals against Trinidad. So I think you've seen the team kind of come a long way in terms of the understanding of what the coaches are looking for. New York was the first time that we traveled overseas, and I think maybe the coaches were a little bit disappointed with the way that we played, even though it was understandable because of the circumstance. And I think they're a little bit happier after seeing these 2 games. Not the result, because we didn't lose any of the games. We tied the first one, and well, it went to penalties, and then we won the second one in New York, and we won both of these games. But again, the result is not really what the coaches are looking for. Obviously, you want to get in the habit of winning, but we have to understand how we're going to play, how we can limit the strengths of the opponents, how we can sort of dictate our style of play on the other team, as opposed to them doing it against us. So all those things are important.
Yeah, and I think that is halftime, and yeah, 40 minutes. That's the first half. All right, so that is halftime. All right, so we're just going to show you the first half of both games, so you'd have seen a full game. All right, you can't complain. So let's, yeah.
And maybe I'll just mention, since we're not showing the second half, just mention a little bit about the second half, because I think that's one of the things the coaches were very impressed with. You know how coaches are. I'm saying we as if I'm a coach, but coaches are generally kind of critical, right?
If you want to see the second half, you have to give some thumbs up, and the likes have to go. The likes are at 59. All right. If you want to see the second half of the game, get the likes up to around 100. 41 more. Go ahead, Kieran.
Yeah, so it's important for us to improve every time that we play, and it's also important, I think, for the players to realize that it's not a tournament. So it's not like we're playing the starting 11 and we're trying to get a result. So we based the way that we do subs and everything, based on trying to get a result. We're trying to find eventually which 22 players are going to go to the CONCACAF tournament. So I think it's important to have a deep squad, because again, I know how these CONCACAF tournaments are. Very little rest in between games a lot of the times. Recovery is an issue sometimes. So you're going to have not just 13, 14 players that you can depend on, and then 6 or 7 that are there for the trip and to enjoy the scenery, but all the players have to be able to contribute. And what I was very impressed with the second half of this game in particular is that all the players that came on, so we changed the entire lineup in the second half, and all the players that came on, I thought, really acquitted themselves well. They actually dominated the team. They created a lot of chances, maybe some unlucky, ones that hit the bar, and maybe some faulty finishing, but it really could have been, 2 or 3 goals, or maybe even 4 in the second half, from the second team, quote unquote. So, I was really impressed, and the coaches were really impressed with the with the competitiveness of the whole squad, all 23 players that played.
Yeah. All right. So maybe we should do the second half so the people can see that. So let me see if I can get it to that point.
I'll watch 10 minutes with you and then I'll jump off because we have preparation for the next game today. But I can stay until like maybe 2:10.
Okay. All right.
2:10 my time.
All right. So people. All right. Let me see if the lights went up. All right. Only 4. Keep them moving. All right. So let's see if we can get the second half going. Because when Kiri goes, I feel like I have to go because I'm telling you this.
And so while you're looking, yes, to start, right? So again, we changed all 11 players. So let me see if I can remember the second team. So it's
there's an ex-Canadian that came on, right?
Yes, the third Canadian is going to be
Jamaican
playing right back.
In Canada.
Yeah, Jamaican that lives in Canada. Marcus. Marcus Neal. Yeah, he's going to be playing right back. The player they call Dam, Marley Williams. He plays for Excelsior and Cavalier. He is going to be playing left back. He's normally a right back, but Marcus is going to be playing right back in this half, and Marley is going to be playing left back. And then the center backs are the player from Clarendon College that they call 13, even though he wears number 12. That's Jaquan Brown. He's going to captain the team in the second half. And Nicholas Fletcher is the player that's going to play alongside him. And so you have a changed midfield. You have Justin Hales, the player they call Bap Bap from Clarendon College. This is a shot from McFarlane. It's Aidan McFarlane. Well saved by the keeper. So Aidan McFarlane is also one of the changes in midfield, along with Tyler Clark, who also plays in South Florida. The forward is well recognized to most, the player they call Chin, which is Oral Miller, plays for Glenmuir High School. And then you'll see Jamari Nolan.
Okay.
Yeah, Nolan in this half, I think he's playing from the left of midfield, left of the attack. He is the youngest player in the team. He has not yet turned 15, so he's still 14 years old. And the player on the other side of the attack is going to be Nyron Allen, player from Glenmuir as well. So again, all of these players that you see on the field now, even though they didn't start the game, it's not a matter of a regular game where you're just trying to manage a result or anything like that. You're actually trying to put your hand up or your foot forward, whichever way you want to look at it, for a place in the team. So, and I think you'll see with the hunger that they played in the second half that they took that to heart, because I thought they played really well in the second half. I guess you could say maybe with what I mentioned before with the Jamaica team still in preseason, like one of the commenters were saying, you have to look at the opponent as well. I think the fact is they may have been a little bit fatigued in the second half, even though they had a lot of subs as did we. So that may have had an effect on the second half, but I still think that the second team really played much better than they did in the first game. Because this is essentially what happened in the first game. We made 11 subs at halftime. The score was 4-1 in the first game at halftime and ended 4-1. So the second half was 0-0. And in this case, similar because it's 1-0 and the game ended 1-0. But I think if you look at not just the score, but the way the team played, I think it was far better in the second half. So that's a mistake by the Jamaicans trying to play out, trying to find the near post, trying to beat the goalkeeper at his near post. So I don't know if you'll pick up on the video, all that talking that's being done by the player in the red, the goalkeeper from Stets. That's one of the things that the coaches have been talking about, communication from the back, especially with the goalkeepers. So you'll hear Stedman a lot in the second half. You'll hear his voice a lot. And so just like the team did in the first half, you can see the players in the yellow buzzing around.
Pressing.
Yes, whenever Mako tries to play. And so that consistency of the fact that you're bringing in 11 different players, it's important for the level not to drop, but for us to be doing the same pattern of things that we're trying to do with the players that started the game. So that's an important point that the coaches are stressing, and I think it was well executed in the second half. That's a foul by the Jamaicans on the Mako midfielder. Game got a little bit testy in the second half as well, which I thought was good. Competitiveness of both teams on display. Mako trying to go long down the left-hand side. Are they looking for a foul? But referee says no. So you'll see Jaquan Brown is the captain and sort of the leader out there. Normally, he's definitely in contention also to be a starter at the center back position. So just some tweaking by the coaches as to partnerships that they want to look at, before they decide who the starting two center backs in their minds would be. So I think it's good that you have Jaquan Brown, a player with leadership qualities, on the field with the substitute players, so he can provide some leadership and some organization, particularly to the back four.
Okay, that makes sense. Splitting the two centre halves, one with the first team, one with the second team.
Yeah, and don't take that as me saying that he's a guaranteed starter, because like we said before, I'm not the coach. But yeah, so they're I don't think there's any set two center backs, because I think we have four pretty decent center backs. So obviously up to the coaches to make that decision when the time comes. Doesn't have to be now, but you can keep looking at combinations to see what which you're most comfortable with. Yeah, it was like what it was is the referee. There was a little bit of pushing and shoving between two players before the corner was taken. And the referee called them both and said, both of you come, let me talk to you. The Mako player said, well, talk to the other guy, don't talk to me. It's something like that. So he had gotten a yellow card before. The referee gave him a second yellow for dissent. But because it's a friendly game, he pretty much told him he needs to leave and they can replace him with a player. So essentially a red card, but without playing short. Cleared out. That's by Brown. And Jamaica tries to go forward here. But yeah, I don't know if you can see him on the far side there, remonstrating with his own coach. Was not happy with the referee at all, which I think it was more his fault than the referee's fault, because there was no reason for him to really react like that. But yeah, so he'd take the rest of the night off and stay cool on the bench. So Mako with the throw-in on the right-hand side. So again, it's difficult for Mako to maintain any possession, whether it be in the first half or the second half, because the Jamaican players are sort of all over them.
Good ball into the box.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get the connection. And I'll see, you'll see as this half goes along that the keeper was quite good at preventing the Jamaicans from adding to the score, because made quite a few good saves from the Jamaican players. I think there's a lot of interest in the player they call Justin Hales. They call Bap Bap. His name is Justin Hales. He played in the last U15 as well. Also a younger player, because he's a 2009. So I think he just turned 15. So again, we have to keep in mind the ages of these players. So even though we're calling them U17, a normal U17 team would be 2007s, because we're in 2024. But because we play a tournament next year, these are really U16s, and in some cases, 15-year-olds, and in one case, 14-year-olds. So pretty young players trying to get a foothold in the games against older players. So I think you have to take that into consideration as well, which I think they did a good job of.
They're putting in the tackles though, man.
Which is it's demanded by Coach Butler and Coach Simon for sure, because the last instruction before they went on the field is to be aggressive and to be hungry. And I think you're seeing that whenever Mako has the ball, they're not giving them a moment's peace. You're supposed to be aggressive without the ball. They're supposed to be pressing without falling. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that throughout the game so far. This is Mako trying to build an attack here on the right-hand side. See Marley Williams in close attendance to the player that was playing on the right for Mako. And you can see Mako trying to make those combinations, but not easy for them, because every time they make 2 or 3 passes in their attacking third, they turn the ball over because Jamaica is pressing them. That was a good attempted turn. The referee says not enough contact for a foul. Mako trying to go the other side. Trying to find a little half a yard for a shot. And Jamaica wins the ball back. It's another foul.
Throwing.
Throwing.
All right, Kieran, I know we have around 5 minutes because the guys have a game and they're going to have to go and, yeah. But this is good. Who you playing?
Yeah,
Who you playing in this game?
I'm not sure what the opponent is. They have it in the group, but I don't remember what the team's name is. They actually organized this game just yesterday because we were just going to do an intra-squad scrimmage since we played 2 real games. But they found an opponent that's already at IMG. So we were playing.
That should have been a goal. Oh, yeah. Offside.
Offside. So that was Nolan, I think, that hit the bar. But it was offside on the original shot. And so I think what was really impressive about this and what the coaches were really happy with is the fact that the second team wasn't just there to manage the game and to just see out the result, but they were actually much more likely to score based on how the second half unfolded. So I think, that was really a positive sign that all the players in the squad, not just the quote-unquote starters, are kind of buying into the concept of how we're trying to play. It's not going to come overnight where everybody understands everything, in terms of the patterns of play, but the things that we work on in training, is supposed to be relating to the games. And I think more so in these 2 games than the ones that we had in New York, you can see them picking up the concepts quicker, and you can see the result in the actual way they're actually playing. So, regardless of the fact of winning or losing. I think it's the fact that they're picking up stuff it shows that there is improvement in the thinking as well, in that we're not just doing drills and training because the coaches want to show that they can do drills, but that everything that we're doing in training is relatable to the game, and then we need to start seeing it in the game itself. Decision making, cutting out technical mistakes, communication, all the things that we're working on, pressing. We're actually seeing in the game much more than we did in the games in New York. So it's good for us to see that progression from all the players in this squad, which was really impressive.
Yeah. All right, I think that is your time now, Kerry.
Yeah, so what I'd say in wrapping up is you're going to continue watching the game on your own, management?
You know what? People, listen now. So the game ends 1-0. We're going to put, because I won't be able to talk any at all.
Okay. Let me give you a quick wrap up then. I discussed a little bit of it as we were going along, but I thought the second half was really encouraging, because what we saw the first game is that we made 11 subs. And to be fair, the level of the game went down a little bit, which kind of would be expected if you think that the players that started the game are a little bit stronger than the players that came on in the second half. But what we saw in this game was a reversal of that, in that the players that came on in the second half, even though the ones that started the game did really well and were up 1-0 and were kind of dominating the game and just not adding to it, the players that came on, I thought, really did a good job of dominating the game, probably even more than the players that started the game, which is a sign that the squad is getting deeper. There's more competition for places, and the players buy into the concept that there's no envelope with anybody's name on it to say you're invited to CONCACAF tournament in February, but that everybody has to work for their spot. And I think that's what you're seeing. Friendly, within the squad, there's no animosity, but everybody is fighting for a spot in the squad, and that's what the coaches have been impressing on them, and I think it's working, because I thought the 2 games here, even though we played back-to-back after traveling the day before, I thought was really encouraging. Not so much the result, because the result doesn't matter, but in terms of the way that they were actually playing and buying into the concepts that the coach are trying to instill in them in practice. So encouraging signs. We'll provide more information as to what happens in the game today. Then we're going to travel early in the morning back to Fort Lauderdale for most players to catch flights. A couple will catch flights from the Tampa airport, which is closer to here, the ones that are going on with their MLS next teams. And then we'll keep you informed of more information on the next camp, which, we're still going to be continuing camps while B Cup and Manny Cup and MLS next season is going on. It may be more challenging, but we are going to work around to try to find dates that suit players being able to get off, so we can have a close to full strength squad like we've had for these last 2 camps. And then we can keep on progressing the team, so that by the time we get to the tournament, we understand how we need to play, and hopefully we can get good results. That's the goal, to qualify for the World Cup. We haven't done it for a while.
Yeah. All right. Listen, Kerry, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing about the game today. So we have a couple of games to look forward to. The one later today, I think at the same time, the U17, the U14s will be playing. Yeah.
Oh, they play. Oh, so they play every day. It's like the U15 schedule.
Yeah, they
play every day. Wow, that's rough.
Every day, man. That's brutal.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's brutal.
We can thank CONCACAF for that schedule.
Yeah. Yeah. So So looking forward. And then tomorrow you have the Mount Pleasant Cavaliers CONCACAF Club Championship happening at Sabina Park as well. So
that
lots of football in the air. But thank you so much again, Kerry.
Sure, anytime.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, man, we'll do. We'll catch up another time, man.
All right,
yeah,
man. Thanks.
All right.
So that was Kerry James. People, you hear the voice. You understand me? Not in the best of health, but I had to bring this so you can see it. Watch it on the replay. Hit the like button. Subscribe. All right. When we get better, we'll do a more fulsome discussion on all these matters. But my name is Van, and this has been I Am Sure Sports. And as usual, when it comes to the end of our programs, we say we are over and we are out of here.
Watch about dog, SK New heard this. The body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, you cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Ocho-Rios, Galtigo Bay. Everywhere. I Am Sure Sports. Check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like? Ha. Yeah, someone on for the food from young, from where they need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.